On this episode, the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit shows you how to profile to sell your house. Privately. Shh, privately. This real estate stuff is not easy, so send me your questions and I will answer them. This is the Ask Jason Show. Hello everybody, my name is Jason Piercey, and this is episode 36 of the Ask Jason Show. This is Cape Spear mug, Cape Spear National Historic Site of Canada, Newfoundland and Labrador, the easternmost point in all of North America. Anytime I travel and people ask me where I'm from, that's what I say. Don't tell them Canada, don't tell them Newfoundland, don't tell them St. John's. The easternmost point in all of North America. This one I have been sort of holding on to for a while, not because I was afraid to answer the question, but I could potentially hear it on this one, but it's good advice and people should know it. What would I do if I were trying to sell a house privately? Realtors hold an immense amount of value. Access to our MLS system holds an immense amount of value. I can't articulate to you in one episode of Ask Jason all of the reasons why you should be hiring a realtor to sell your house, especially when the statistics are the way they are right now, when on average 1 in 10 houses listed sells in a month. The odds are stacked against you if you are going after a private sale. But if you are in an unfortunate position that dictates that your options are limited and you want to take a stab at it, I mean, you could save yourself thousands, possibly tens of thousands, depending on the purchase price of your home. Here's what I would do if I were attempting to sell a house privately. I would create a social media presence, and I would do that almost exclusively. I mean, sure, you'd create ads and put it on probably all of the classified websites, NL Classifieds, Kijiji, if there was a Craigslist or whatever where you are, any local marketing. If you want to put it in print, buy and sell, the newspaper, sure. All of that stuff works. It's just about whether or not the effort and time that you put into it is going to produce a return on your investment. So some things are more worth it than others, but everything still works to some degree. So I'd create a social media presence. I would focus most of my time on Facebook, and then I would pair that presence on Facebook with a matching presence on Instagram because they're owned by the same company, and you can cross-reference things back and forth, and both groups can see all of the same stuff. I would either create a image of myself or a person as somebody who's offering a property for sale, or I would create a business location that is a property. So the whole page is just that property. So you create sort of personification of a house that discusses itself. People have profiles on Facebook. Businesses have pages. The biggest difference is pages come with the opportunity for ad products that's created specifically for Facebook. Once I have a page create, not a profile. Profile will be virtually useless to you unless you can create some sort of viral content. You have your page, you think very closely about who's going to buy your house, and you categorize those people in demographics, sort of like they do on Criminal Minds. Yeah. So you're basically profiling people like they do on Criminal Minds from the BAE down in Langley, Virginia, because they're with the FBI. How good looking is that dude though? He's so fit and the really nerdy guy, but he's so smart. It's anyway, you create a profile of somebody. So they are likely to engage in these activities. They are likely to, and see, this is why private sales are not as successful as people want them to be, because this stuff is harder than you think it is. This is how I sell houses. I create that demo, then I create an audience hand-picking people through Facebook's ad product and their targeting products. And I assemble that audience, and then I create ads specifically tailored to the interests of those audience, deploy those ads against specifically only that audience and nobody else by dark posting an ad, which basically means it's an unpublished ad, which means if you go to the timeline of the page, you can't see the ad. It only shows up to the people that I want it to show up to. And if there's more than one demographic, like say there's first-time home buyers because of price point, but there's also senior citizens because it's on one level, then I create 2 audiences, but also 2 ads, because it's no good to try and sell an ad to senior citizens. Joe's laughing at me. It's no good to sell an ad to senior citizens about how it's only an $8.50 cab ride from George Street. Well, I wouldn't say it's no good, but it might be of less interest to somebody who's 22 years old. Create a presence, reverse engineer very accurately and very carefully who your demographics are, create individual ad sets tailored to each demographic, spend more money than you want to on reaching those demographics and only those demographics, and wait for a response. Fine tune and tweak every so often to make sure you get what you want. And then when the lead generation happens and people contact you, now it's time to actually do the work. Because the rest of it has just been marketing. You've not engaged in any sales activity yet. That's how I would go about creating business for private sale. Everybody thinks that they can do it. I hope you can do it. You'll save yourself a ton of money if you can. Best of luck. And if it doesn't work, call your friendly neighborhood trusted realtor. They probably already know, or if they're good, they already know all of the things that I just told you. That is all I have for today. Crossing my fingers I don't get in trouble. Love you. See you next time. The Ask Jason Show exists so that you can get good real estate related information from a resource that you can trust. Now, speaking of resources you can trust, here's a couple I would trust to work with my mom. Because good enough for mom, I mean, good enough for you. Sometimes I wish that I was good with a camera and you were the good looking one.